Literally, he's no one's man. He's not Young Miami's man. He's not your man. He wasn't Cassie's man. He's everybody. He's
Yeah. Damon Jam got the tea in the grill. Spilling true bombs, daily drip. I squad flex, yeah, I never skill. Story so fresh, let the vibe quick. Drip, drop, the news won't stop. They got the juice, rising to the top. Tune in quick, don't let it fly. I squad rolling, we make it
welcome
happen.
to a solo late night drip with just me, Jim Jones. We're gonna talk about the Diddy trial as it wrapped up another week. Before I get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, leave some drip and the comments for us. Like I said many times before, doesn't cost anything to go ahead and hit that like button. Also, tell two people plus a family member about the show. So please share this with someone. Even if you have someone who's not following the trials super closely, this can at least get you up to speed about what happened in a general sense of the trial if you're interested. So if you are, stay tuned. Should be pretty interesting and entertaining. All right. The Diddy trial wrapped up this week, and we had some people who finished up, which would be Mia, and a lot of witnesses. Pretty interesting. So let's start off the week. So first, we ended the week with Mia. Mia was the assistant for Diddy from 2009, I believe, to 2017. So she was with him for a minute. She is the one who was there when Cassie was dating Michael B. Jordan. She was there through when Cassie was filming in South Africa. She was there through getting Revolt kind of up and running. That's all things in her time period of being a personal assistant. And so the main thing that was hammered home this week is that they as in the prosecution brought up assault and the S nature. And so with that, the defense had a chance to actually ask about it, and they really went in on, if somebody did this to you, why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why would you post this? Why would you want to relive that? And from a victim perspective, they brought in an expert, uh, Dawn Hughes, I believe. She came in and talked about victim behavior as well as like things that victims would do uh, depending on the situation. So she pre talked about that before Mia came up, but after Cassie had already testified. So they did have an expert come in to discuss behavior around that. So, anyways, the defense pretty much went in like, hey, is this your social media post? Why are you telling him happy birthday if you got assaulted, this day, whatever before? And so she's, her thing is kind of like, well, it's my boss. People expect me to post about him regardless of that. And defense is like, yeah, it just seems kind of weird. If you didn't like it, why wouldn't you tell someone? Why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you do that? So that was pretty much the whole defense. And the prosecution was hammering home the uh, assault as well as force. There was a incident, and I think I talked about this the week before. An incident when she was on like a party bus, and they had her. They, as in like Diddy and some people, like you. If you're on the bus, you got to do the drugs with them because if you're not doing drugs and everybody else is doing drugs, you kind of look like ops. So she ended up doing drugs to appease him allegedly, and so feeling pressured by the what happens if I don't do it. So that's kind of Mia's story is that she saw a lot of the abuse. She was involved in understanding about the drugs, the distribution of the drugs, the a good chunk of things, and a lot of being around with a lot of the abuse. And I believe her, Deontay Nash, and Cassie are all still friends. So that's Mia in a nutshell. If you want to know more about Mia's testimony, go back to last week. I get a little bit more in depth with that there. So she finished up. I believe she was on the stand one day. They finished her up. So next is up Bana. Bana is Brianna Bongolan, And so she she is a fashion person, like more of like a skater kind of vibe. And so she is a fashion person, was Cassie's friend slash like drug dealer. And so that's how she kind of comes into play. There was kind of a little bit of like uh, maybe insinuation that Cassie was maybe like messing with her on the side. Like they were kind of insinuating that. She never said, like, hey, yeah, we used to mess around or whatever. That never came from her, but that they used to do a lot of drugs together. And then she started doing some drugs with Diddy as well. But it didn't seem like Diddy really liked her too much. The main thing that this whole thing is brought up about is she's the one who was allegedly dangled off the 17th floor. Now, hold on, y'all. I gotta show y'all a video. So she was dangled from the 17th floor, and she allegedly, Vanna is the one who's dangled from the 17th floor. This lady is tiny, like maybe 5 feet tall. And clearly, I think she showed up with her girlfriend, like she's the stud in the relationship. But I mean, allegedly, Diddy took her little butt and just dangled her like a child off the side of the balcony. It's not funny, but it is because she's so little that I could believe that. And so, like being upset that I wanna say, like, Cassie wasn't answering her phone or something like that, and they were just beefing. But anyways, the whole thing is that she sued Diddy for dangling her, and it's just so the whole details of that is so messy. So, her lawyer at the time thought it would be a good idea to put, like, a S assault in there, that Diddy, like, grabbed her fangs in the front and dangled her by her fangs, which is which is crazy work. I've never heard of any man dangling a chick by her, her fangs. So, like, just assaulting her in general. So she was suing Diddy anyways for that. And so the defense kind of came back and was like, it's interesting that all of a sudden, like, you wanted some money when Cassie wanted some money. Did y'all kind of get together and cook up a whole story? And she's just kind of like, no, I didn't. Matter of fact, I told Cassie, don't put my business in her lawsuit. Like, don't put my business in her lawsuit. So the defense is basically trying to prove all of y'all just want some money from Diddy. That's what's going on with that. That's like why y'all all just trying to get some money from Diddy. What happened to you? Everything was consensual, and or you were doing drugs and you were having a good time, and then now that you don't do the drugs anymore, which Bana, for example, is allegedly sober for a long time now, I think like years. Now you want to say, oh, I wasn't with that. That's not so defense, that's kind of where the defense is coming from that. And in some cases, they are kind of making people seem kind of like liar from what I can read. I'm obviously not in the courtroom, so I can't tell you what they did or did not say. Expert witnesses who came or experts who came in. I'm going a little bit out of order because I think before Bana was the video expert, Frank Piazza, and he was to validate that the video from the beatdown that we saw Diddy did to Cassie is true. And not only is it true, they showed the whole video to the jury, which we only saw like maybe 30 seconds of it. I guess it was like 30 minutes of going back and forth, dragging her down the hallway and all kind of stuff. So the jury saw the whole thing, the whole video. And Frank Piazza's job was to validate that the video is authentic and that the reason why they didn't see the timestamps be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is because it was a motion sensor. So when there's motion, it would cut on. If there's not motion, it would cut off. So, anyways, that was his whole thing. And then another expert who came in was a texting expert that is in relation to Jane Doe to explain how the text messages work. And I think even with the WhatsApp and so some of the other applications that were used to go back and forth, so to validate that and explain to the jury how they can say like this is legit. Another person who testified is the CFO, one of the CFOs who were there at the time to validate the money that was being moved, more so that cash was taken in and out. So that was what their job was. I don't think that they're like indicted or anything, but just their role is to validate the cash and like this is the wire transfer, et cetera, et cetera. Another person before I get into Jane Doe is Mr. Garcia. Poor baby. So one of the witnesses, I his name Eddie Garcia. So Eddie Garcia was one of the people who had access to said video that the expert said was legit. And Diddy was like, "Look, you about to give us all the copies of that." And he's like, "Well, I can't do that." He's like, "Yes, you can, because I'm about to give you $100,000 cash." So Diddy not only this is not even alleged at this point, not only gave the 100,000 in cash, but made this man sign an NDA. And if he were to tell anybody, then he would owe them $1 million. So there's not even an alleged on that. He has actual documentation and paperwork to support what happened. And so they split it, I believe, three ways. So he got $30,000 to be quiet about the video that happened with Cassie. And so he got immunity and testified, that that's what happened. His interaction with Diddy, where Diddy was just kind of like, "Oh, don't spend it all in one place." Like $30,000 matters to him, but whatever. Um, yeah, so that was Eddie Garcia. From what I understand, he seemed pretty terrified up there too as he was speaking. So there's that. Oh, and then he tried to go back. He tried to go back and hit up Diddy for like a job, like later on, and Diddy never hit him back on IG now. Had he hit him back on IG, this might be looking a little different. But anyway, so that was Eddie Garcia. And then finally, I'm gonna spend a couple minutes on Jane Doe. So Jane Doe just got started. I believe she's supposed to take like a week or so because she had to come in front of the country. She dated Diddy from 2020 to 2024. This is Mia and Jane Doe are both two people whose names are off the record. That's not their real names. And I'm not putting in who I think it is or none of that. That's none of my business. The courts say that this person's a pseudonym, then that's what it is. So Jane Doe dated Diddy from 2020 to 2024. So obviously this is after Cassie. And she met him in Miami with one of her homegirls was there with him. And then he was just kind of like, "Well, what's up with you?" So then she started dating him after a homegirl got married to somebody else, right? So cool, he's fair game. That's how she figured it. She started dating him. At first, she was getting love bombed and everything was cute and so forth. And then after he found out what her fantasies were, allegedly, that's when they started doing the debauchery and hotel nights, which is AKA freak offs. So just change the name a little bit. It's a little bit of a different situation, but this lady sounds like she really loves slash is in love with Diddy still at this point. Like I think they just broke up maybe a couple months ago, and he's still paying this girl rent. Like so, there's so many gaps in this. I think the prosecution, from what I understand, from shout out to attorney Simone Redwine, shout out to who else am I watching on this? Inner City Press. So I also check out Inner City Press on X. So check him out with the shorthand as well. And then that surprise witness, I've been listening to her as well. So, and she's reading Inner City Press during the day. So if you can't read it and you just want to listen to that surprise witness. If you want to hear something spicy, because attorney Simone is an actual attorney, so she breaks it down for you. And then Inner City Press is in the courtroom as well, and he is doing shorthand, so you kind of get some of it, but you might miss some context because like he's trying to get what he can out. So, anyways, Jane eventually gets $10,000 a month in allowance from him because she wants to have a special place for her and her child to have. Her only source of income is being a baby mama to somebody who Diddy knows, and I am guessing they don't like each other. And so she's getting money from that plus the 10,000 from Diddy. She was trying to get 15 and got 10. We only leave that there. Uh and pretty much it sounds like as time goes on, like she wants to be like his girlfriend, and he's treating her pretty much like a S worker. Like she can do the debaucheries and hotel nights, but he's not out doing big things for her birthday or doing all these public things. as he did with somebody else who's on social media, which like really set her off. She wanted to break up, and he's like, "Okay, well then let's break up." But she's like, "Wait a minute, you gonna break up?" He like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and break up. Matter of fact, I ain't giving you no more money. I'm gonna give you 3 months. You gotta get up out of there because I'm not paying for somebody that's not gonna do these hotel nights and debaucheries." So she's like, "I mean, I'll do the hotel nights and debaucheries. I mean, I just want to spend some more time with you." Crazy work. Knows he has other chicks, is begging for his time and wants to be paid for her time. Moving drugs for him, but moving drugs for him allegedly just for him and her. Like she has not seen him distribute it to nobody else. So I don't know how they're gonna prove that. To me, her biggest thing that proves to me from what I understand is the prostitution because she was picking out like who she was gonna do a hotel night with. There needs to be I would love to do a deep dive on just the whole psychology of wanting to please your partner is what she keeps referring to it as. I think once she gets all the way wrapped up, I would love to do a video about like pleasing your partner aspect mentally because her whole thing is I just want to roll on with all this because I just wanted to make him happy. Which is interesting because he's not your man. He's everyone's man. Literally, he's no one's man. He's not Young Miami's man. He's not your man. He wasn't Cassie's man. He's everybody. You know, I send him to the street. He home. That's that's Diddy. He is the street. He ain't even in the street. He is the street. Like there is you gotta know your role, and your role was to wear them high heels, girl, and when he called, be ready, and he paid for it, and he doing it in the house. It was just it like took what happened with Cassie and like kind of morphed. But so far, there's been no physical abuse. The only thing you can say is you could say he's talking to her crazy, but is he really talking to her crazy? Because it's not really his girlfriend. He just very incredibly direct. Like I'm not gonna take this from you, and you're not gonna cuz I mean you're not gonna do this, and you're not gonna do that, and I'm not gonna tell. You're not just because I can. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. So I'll keep y'all posted on Jane Doe. I'm curious to see what the prosecution's trying to prove with this, but I mean, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough because the defense, they're really able to say there's no way this can be coercion. There's no way that this can be some type of manipulation when he's still paying her rent from the jail. So what was he holding over her head? Everything she did was because she wanted to do it. And pretty much that's what the defense is gonna be able to say. So I don't know. And from what I understand, the jury is a lot of normal people, right? Like normal people who work a 9 to 5 or work at retail or have to work odd hours, like working to make money to take care of their family. Everything that's kind of being displayed here is really first world problems in comparison. So I don't know how the jury is going to vote. I do agree with attorney Simone that if he gets convicted of any of those, like they say guilty for anything, they're gonna throw the book at him for whatever that is, whatever the max time or whatever they can get him for, they're gonna get that. But I don't know. Proven Rico, I'm not sure. So y'all tell me, drop some drip in the comments. Drop some drip in the comments. Let me know. Do y'all think Diddy is the Rico king? Y'all think he should get that RICO charge? Y'all think he should get that prostitution charge? Y'all think he should get that ass trafficking charge? Like, do y'all think he should be getting charged? Do y'all think this is a witch hunt to take Diddy down because of all the things that he's gotten? It's definitely interesting. From what I understand, I mean, the music industry is tough, can be tough like that. A lot more times than not. Drop some drip in the comments. Let me know where y'all watch it from. If you like these updates or you want me to do them longer, let me know. I just don't want to spend a super long amount of time. Y'all got so many different people y'all can go to and get like the nitty gritty details. But I just want to give y'all some quick clip notes if you're just interested for the week. Once again, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you check out our community page where we have some polls. Please check out them polls. Really appreciate it. All right, well, I am your solo drip host, Jim Jones, and thank y'all for dripping.
Step into the spotlight where the vibe don't quit. Dame and Jim got the tea, yeah, they never miss a bit. Cash is pay on the beat, make you wanna dip. Odd squad in the house, let's take another trip. We got the drip, the daily flow you